What is good, people? Welcome to another episode of the Undiluted Football Show with yours truly, Tony. Now, before I start this episode, first of all, you know what? Let's get straight into it. What a week we've had in football, especially just in general. This has been probably one of the biggest weeks in football for a very long time, especially working in the sports industry as well. Just it's been one of the craziest weeks in football. For those that don't know and that have been living under a rock, we had the literally last episode, we spoke about the European Super League, and I said what it was about and the whole debacle and everything. From then on, it's now been suspended. I feel like there's only two more clubs in it with Real Madrid and Barca. I think I've looked at Atleti as well. There's basically Spanish clubs in it, and it's not gonna happen in a nutshell. That is it in a nutshell. But if we look at the European Super League, fans came all across the globe, really. Players spoke out and said, we don't want this. It's not helpful for people below the pyramid, which I don't think is true. Well, no, it is true, but I don't think that's the reason people don't want it. But we'll get into that. If I had to give my own opinion of the Super League, and this is my own opinion, I'm entitled to it because it's mine, and views on my own and all of that. With the Super League, do you know what it is? When people make decisions like this, you have to ask yourself why, right? I know they didn't just randomly go, all right, let's make the Super League because we're greedy and we want more money. I feel like that's what people want to believe, but I don't think that's the case. Obviously, there is some greed implemented in it because they're billionaire owners, billionaire clubs wanting more money. People feel like once you reach $1 billion, that's it. You shouldn't make more money. You should just stay there and live your life. But anyway, that's people's opinions. But one thing we've got to look at is why. Why did they decide to create this thing called the European Super League? Now, for those that don't know, is that the Premier League clubs lost a total of over 1 billion in 2019, right? That was 2019. They lost over $1 billion. Now, for those that don't know, $1 billion is a lot of money. So Premier League clubs lost over $1 billion, like altogether. And that was in 2019. Then we had COVID in 2020. So, and God knows what they lost. So if they lost $1 billion in 2019, they must have lost a load of money in 2020. Now, that could have been one of the reasons where they're thinking, all right, we are running out of money. We need more income, blah, 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 blah. Let's make this league to keep us rich. Maybe that was their idea. I don't know. But one thing they've done is went about it all wrong. They went about it in the sense that we're going to make a league. And I think the thing that people didn't like about it was it was very inclusive, right? Exclusive, rather. It was very exclusive. There was no relegation, no promotion. If there was a way to get promoted and relegated from the European Super League, then I feel like people might decide to. I'm not sure if people would still want it, but that could have been a massive factor in helping them trying to make it. Now, it's weird with the Super League because I didn't expect it to happen, but don't feel like this is going to be the last of it, because the fact that they brought this to attention and so many clubs said, yes, we want to be, 12 clubs said yes, but 6 English clubs said, yes, we want to be a part of it, shows that maybe, just maybe, background wise, these guys are thinking ahead and thinking, you know what, maybe we want more money. And yes, sorry, us Cuban beings who don't want more money. But what we've got to look at that is that Premier League clubs are losing a lot of money. We have to remember that during COVID, clubs were letting go of staff. Didn't Tottenham get a loan at the start of the season? Like, you don't do that if you don't need money. Do you know what I mean? So Premier League clubs did need money. Not every single club needed money, but a lot did. So we've got to take that in consideration. Yes, they went about the European Super League all wrong, and I don't think that was the way to do it. But don't be surprised if we see something along the lines of this happening again, just with a better formula. And I'm not even sure football fans will be so mad about it. It's just the fact that it was very exclusive. It was just the rich trying to stay the rich and not caring about the whole football pyramid, which I totally understand. And I wasn't for the Super League. I thought they went about it totally wrong. So that's that, in my opinion. Do I feel like the Super League will come again? Probably. Give it a year, give it 2 years. They'll go about this properly. They will contact the fans, because the fans' outrage and the protests were crazy, and they're not going to make that same mistake twice. So there's that, but I really don't feel like this is the end of it. They've clearly looked at figures and gone like, we can't sustain this model forever, because unfortunately, like, clubs need more money. Us as fans want our clubs to splash millions on players. Player wages are going to keep going up and up and up. People, because of no fans, people are losing that side of money, gate receipts, revenue. Like, people are losing money, and stuff is still going to go up. People are still going to get bought for 150 million, 170 million, regardless. So you can see why they're trying to think of ways to make more money. But that's that with the Super League. I'm glad it's practically done now in England. Will we see it again? Probably. I think now next we need to focus on Champions League and the way we need to restructure the Champions League, because that's another. So yeah, so obviously we had the Super League as well, and that. But what is so funny is that a massive story also happened during the week, but because the Super League was so big, we totally forgot about it, and it was Jose Mourinho being sacked from Tottenham. Now, I felt like this was a very weird one. I felt like I didn't expect Jose to stay. I did thought it got a bit sour and it got a bit toxic and reminded me of how Jose left United. But one thing I will mention is that 6 days before a cup final made no sense. I feel like if there's one person on this earth you would want to go up against the top, against Pep Guardiola, City, and you would want one manager on this earth, you would probably pick Jose Mourinho. And I just feel like to get rid of him 6 days before a final makes no sense. I know, fair enough, if you didn't think he was the guy for the next season, I get that. But let him win the trophy, let him leave. He got due to the final. Jose Mourinho gives you a chance. And then giving Ryan Mason the job to the end of the season, I don't know how you expect. Like, this is Tottenham Hotspur, right? Tottenham are notoriously known for not winning trophies. So the fact, yes, it's the Carabao Cup, and it's not a massive major trophy, but it's still regarded as a major trophy in somewhat. So the fact that you don't want to go for that trophy, even though you haven't won a trophy in years, it's a cup final. You want to win the game. You want to lift the trophy. You will all celebrate if you lift that trophy. I don't see how that in a footballing sense, it logically made sense to get rid of a very experienced manager who is known for winning trophies, who's got you to a final, to be replaced by someone with massive inexperience who is 29 years old. And this is no disrespect to Ryan Mason, but that just didn't make sense. I don't think Jose was. The thing is, everyone has their own reasons as to why Jose left. People said that, oh, you know what, Levy thought he was in the Super League. Levy thought he was going to get that Super League stimmy. So he was like, you know what, once this cash flows in, I can get whoever I want. Or there's people thinking that Jose didn't want to go and be a part of this whole Super League. There's that theory there. I think there's many theories to the sacking, because this one is a totally weird one. I feel like just looking at it from a logical explanation, it just does not make sense. It really doesn't make sense. I don't think any football fan would decide to do that, regardless if you hate Jose Mourinho or not. And I feel like it just does not make sense. And then even still, this is the part I don't get, and I was really kind of frustrated on. Even still, and this is no disrespect to Ryan Mason, but someone who was a part of the coaching staff with Jose that didn't get sacked was Ledley King. Now, Ledley King is a club legend. We've seen, how many club legends have we seen get appointed managerial roles? We've seen it with Lampard, we've seen it with Solskjaer, we've seen it with Gerrard. Just these type of players, like from that generation, now becoming managers. And I know Ryan Mason has been in the coaching staff for how long, and I know he's been a part of the youth and whatever, and I get that, and he's been a part of the backroom staff. But I thought if you're going to give it to someone to the end of the season, I thought surely you would give it to the Ledley King, right? Ryan Mason isn't regarded as a Tottenham legend, I don't think. Well, put it this way, in comparison to Ledley King, I don't think any Tottenham fan would say they would rather Ryan Mason as a Tottenham legend than Ledley King. So it was kind of really weird how he got overlooked. The only reason I can feel like he got overlooked is that because he worked under Jose a bit, they wanted to completely get rid of that. But still, he's still an ambassador for the club. He's still an assistant first team coach, I think his title was. So the fact that he got overlooked is very skeptical, in my opinion. I'm not sure if he didn't have all his badges. I don't know. But then again, it'll be weird if Ryan Mason has all those badges already and Ledley doesn't. It is a very weird one for me. When I saw Ryan Mason get the role, and fair enough, Chris Powell was there as well, so it's not completely inexperienced. But I'm thinking, in this day and age where we've seen people like Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney get jobs like that, would you not think Ledley King would be the next one in charge? I'm not saying he should be the long-term replacement, but just to the end of the season, the same way you're giving it to a 29-year-old Ryan Mason. But anyway, that's my take on Tottenham. It was a very weird one, and as you saw, they lost the Carabao Cup final today in the end. Man City won their fourth Carabao Cup in a row, but we'll touch on that a bit later. But I feel like it was just a weird one with the Jose Zaki, and I really thought that they really didn't. Either one, they thought this through, and there's someone in the pipeline. Because especially, think about it, if you are Harry Kane, you've just sacked Mourinho, you're going to go, okay, cool, to Daniel Levy. And this is what I would do. If I'm the star player of a team, you've just sacked the manager 6 days before we have a cup final, I'll say, okay, cool, I can't do anything about it. You sacked him. Who's the next man in charge? You must have someone ready. You don't sack someone without thinking about it, thinking about your next step ahead. Do you know what I mean? Who's in the pipeline that is going to do better than this supposed, and then Mourinho? I know for a fact he's going to go, okay, cool, boom. Ryan Mason's going to be the long-term replacement. We're going to get rid of Mourinho. This is how we're going to do things at Tottenham. That conversation didn't happen. I can tell you that for free. So we'll see. We'll really see in regards with Tottenham. But as I said, Tottenham losing another final is the history of the Tottenham. But let's just look at some. I was going to quickly touch on the Champions League new format as well, because another competition Tottenham won't be in. But I feel like it's a really weird new format with the whole league positions. I know Ilkay Gundogan came out and said that they don't like it. Pep Guardiola even came out and said that the format needs to change, and it's just a weird one because it's kind of, I don't want to say it has some similarities to the Super League, but we're now going to play over 100 more games. The fact that we were crying about fixture congestion so much this season, God knows how we're going to fit 100 more Champions League games. Like, it just does not make sense. Like, fair enough, I don't mind if the Champions League gets changed, because I'm all here for change, but this isn't it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this really isn't it. If you want to have a new format of the Champions League, fair enough. But right now, this one isn't it, and we'll probably see it. I don't think it'll get implemented if the way players and managers come out, and maybe fans as well, if they decide to do the people power thing they've done with the ESL. Maybe we'll see. But anyway, speaking of ESL, one of the aftermaths of the ESL for Man United was Vice Chairman Ed Woodward, Executive Chairman Ed Woodward leaving, which was a massive one. I remember when I got the drop on it, and I was thinking, what? Like, this is crazy. And we can look at it like this, because United fans have been screaming for Ed Woodward to go for years. So we can look at it like this. We can either, because the Glazers are still there, United fans, right? And I'm a United fan. The Glazers are still there, so the job's not done. We still going on, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fight isn't finished. But what we need to do, this appointment needs to be big. It needs to be a person that can. I feel like the vice chairman is the bridge between the owners and the manager. And your vice chairman has to be a football person. One thing I will credit Ed Woodward on was he was a money man. He always seemed to get these deals. Like, who has a training kit sponsor? Do you know what I mean? Like, United is such a brand that people just want to sponsor our training kit. Not even our first team kit, just our training kit, just to get that brand of Man United. It's such a big brand. So fair enough, Ed Woodward, when it came to money, that was his thing. He was a wheeler dealer. He knew what he was doing. But we need more than that. We need someone that understands the football club, someone that you want football people in charge of footballing roles. It is pretty simple. Do you know what I mean? So people, MEN are reporting Edwin van der Sar. Not sure if that's going to work. I feel like he's happy with Ajax at the moment, and it's going to take a lot from him to leave Ajax to come to Man United and do that role. We will see. I don't know. They might do in-house. I personally feel like it might be an in-house one. I'm not sure who will be capable of that role, but you'll probably hear of an in-house person get the step up and because they want to keep it that way, which I totally don't mind. As long as it is a person with footballing background, I'm here for it, because that can help shape the course of Man United's future. But we shall see. But let's get on to the Premier League. We had a couple midweek games, which was a bit funny, the midweek games, because like no one really spoke about them too tough, and it's just like I don't know. Like obviously Ryan Mason got his first win. Big ups to him. City won. It was just a couple Premier League games, really. I think the European Super League just took over all of the midweek games, and then even some of the weekend games. Now we were thinking, all right, fair enough. We've got some weekend games, but this whole massive Super League just took it over. I know Liverpool lost conceded a late equaliser, and then again Leeds got a draw at United again. So it's a weird one. Put it this way: Everton beat Arsenal and they won the Emirates for the first time in 25 years. Arsenal, I've said my two piece on Arsenal so many times. I've said that Arteta's not the man for the job. I've said it for a long time. I know they're trying to trust the process, but sometimes you've got to pull the plug on the process when the process is not even happening. What are you trusting? Because he's been in there for how many months now? And if it really wasn't for his Pep clout and him being at City, if Arteta came from another club and he was not at City and the exact same results happen, I promise you he'll be sacked. Because this is crazy now. The fact Arsenal Football Club are a big football club, whether you want to compete, you want to like banter them or not, or call them Banter FC or what they've been and how they haven't had trophies or whatever, but they've had some decent FA Cups runs. But Arsenal are a big club, whether we like it or not. They're a big club in England. And the fact they're here just chilling in like 9th, 10th is not good enough. I don't care who the manager is. That's not good enough. And we'll see on Thursday, because the really only thing they're going for is the Europa League. They now have Unai Emery. And in the words of Kevin Keegan, I would love it. No, joking. No, I would love it if Unai Emery beats them, because it goes to show that you messed up your process. But even again, Arsenal fans are in their own debacle with Kroenke out and everything. So big ups to them. Hopefully they get what they needed. They get what they need done, don't they? But Leicester as well. Leicester looks very comfortable. I think it was it Thursday? Leicester looked very comfortable against West Brom. My guy Kelechi Iheanacho banging. It's a weird one because Kelechi I watched that game and Kelechi had a lot of chances. And I've watched Kelechi from when Nigeria won the Under-17s World Cup, and he was a star alongside Musa Mohammed and other players like that. And Iheanacho was a number 10 for us. And then he went to City. City kind of played him up front, kind of played him as a backup striker. It didn't work out. And now he's kind of having his best Premier League goals scoring season, which is good for him. Scoring a load of goals in the FA Cup, into an FA Cup final. So I'm very happy for Kelechi. But I've always preferred him in that 10 role. Now, not the typical 10 we see, like I'm thinking like a Bruno Fernandes or David Silva type of 10. I'm talking about the old 10s back in the day. No one pairs with the SS, a support striker. So back in the day, before a 10 was a cam, they were the people that just played behind it, which is kind of still a cam, but a more attacking cam, if that makes sense. Like Raul, for example. That was the 10 back in my day. So that's the type of Iheanacho you saw, just behind a striker who can still get you goals, but has very good link-up play. And we can see with Vardy is now that him and Vardy are linking up very well, which is good. The only concern I have about him was that obviously that game he scored his goal, he was very selfish, and there was many chances where I feel like, oh yeah, you could have just slotted a ball here, you could have done this. But Leicester is still doing well. They're looking like they're going to... I feel like Leicester are going to get Champions League this football. I don't think they can mess it up. In regards to Chelsea West Ham, which was a massive game for the top 4 race, Chelsea and Timo Werner just pulled through. It's a weird one for West Ham because the red card never should have been a red card. West Ham could still get Europe. I feel like this is a fairy tale season for West Ham. If West Ham get Europe, they can't cry. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's Champions League or Europa League, I wouldn't mind seeing West Ham in Europa League. I think that'd be great. Seeing West Ham in the Champions League, I feel like they're not ready for that just yet. If they would have to keep Lingard, keep Rice, and even still, I don't think they're going to get out of their group. Let's be honest, though, because they'll be pot 4, maybe. So I'm not sure whether they get out of their group. I feel like in Europa League they might have a chance. You know, we kind of seen British teams seem to do pretty decent against Europa League times, and it'll be nice to see West Ham go against like Slavia Prague and them, man, Suchek Derby and stuff like that. So I'm here for it. Whether West Ham I know Chelsea still got City to. I feel like they still got City to play in the league. I feel like Chelsea still have a couple more hard games, and maybe so do West Ham. So Chelsea could drop points, and Chelsea got to focus on the Champions League as well. But we shall see. We shall see when it comes to West Ham. I feel like West Ham should just be happy with Europe regardless. And I feel like West Ham fans will be happy with any type of Europe. Yeah, Champions League was in touching distance, but Europe is Europe at the end of the day. If you win the Europa League, you get into the Champions League. It's as simple as that. And you started the season with 19 people, you know, in your, like, we all thought West Ham at the start of the season were tipped for relegation. So the fact that they're here now, overachieving under David Moyes, I'm here for it. Lingard's doing well and stuff like that. So really can't complain. United drew against Leeds today. It was a 0-0 draw. This is like United's 7th 0-0 draw now this season, which is kind of weird, kind of concerning. What can I say? I know we have a big semi-final in on Thursday, so it was kind of a rotate. I won't want to say kind of a rotated squad because I feel like the team we should up there regardless should beat Leeds. But you know, you had your Dan James to start in, your McFred pivot, which I'm sick of, but you had them type of people. So I know, like, come Roma on Thursday, like, people like James won't start. Pogba will be back in the starting lineup. Cavani will probably be back in the starting lineup. But it's a weird one because I felt like we put a team out there that was capable of beating Leeds, but we still didn't. You can see the changes we need in this side. I feel like we need to move the ball quicker in the midfield, especially when we have McFred in the pivot. The ball's just getting moved sideways. They can't even keep the ball. Jamie Carragher, even the game, said it was a boring game to watch. I'm sorry, it was a really, really boring game to watch. And even like Jamie Carragher, like the 80th minute, was like, this game's just terrible. Like, it's just awful. Like, midfields couldn't keep like playing. We were just terrible. And this is the thing. When a team, because Leeds didn't come out to play like they did at Old Trafford because they didn't want to get spanked up again, which I totally understand. You learn from your mistakes, right? And I'm not going to say Leeds defended on a low block because it wasn't really a low block. So it's just a weird one. United, just when we play these teams, we just always seem to not get through. I feel like when we have Pogba and Bruno on the pitch, Bruno had another stinker today, but I'm not going to get onto that. When we have Pogba and Bruno on the pitch, when we play our normal game, we kind of win. And I felt like we played a rotated squad that just wasn't good enough today. Like, Dan James, I'm sorry, he's not, especially if it's not an end-to-end game on the counter-attack, he's practically ineffective. We definitely need a right winger because he was ineffective on the right. Again, it was just the whole right side. It was just Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. And Wan-Bissaka looked like our best player on the pitch, and that's saying something. So, as United fans, I've been screaming this for ages. A defensive mid and right winger will be sorted, stuff like that. But that's another question for another day. With Man United, it's just when we play these rotated teams, we need to do much better and stuff like that. But we shall see. City win their 4th Carabao Cup with a 1-0 win over Spurs. You know, it's a weird one because I watched the game and City were practically all over them. Tottenham played awful, in my opinion. Laporte should have been sent off. He should have had 2 yellows and scored the winner. So the irony of football way. But this cup win makes me question the Carabao Cup, as in, like, what's the point? Now, I don't want to. I know I'm gonna sound like a bitter United fan, and I don't. I'm just gonna look at it. Let's look at this from this perspective. Everyone in the Carabao Cup, it's one of the earliest cups that start in the season. You know, your third round is practically in September, early September, August. You're playing it from then. Teams always play a rotated squad in the Carabao Cup. Even in the FA Cup, we're starting to see it now, is that teams play a rotated squad in the FA Cup. And one thing that Man City have above every other team in England is a better squad. They have a better B team than everyone else. Hence why they're winning the Premier League in this COVID season. Hence why they've just won the Carabao Cup. Because most teams tend to play a rotated squad. You don't play your strongest squad in the Carabao Cup. That's just a fact. So the fact that City have won it four times in a row now just shows that City's B team is better than everyone else's. But that's something we already knew. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something really new. What's the point if players are gonna if teams are just gonna put out their B team for a trophy? I get that. I get it shows who has the best squad, and props to City for having a very good B team. Like, gang, well done. But it's just is it not boring now? Do you know what I mean? They've won 4 in a row. It's now 6 in the last 7 years because it was 5 in the last 6. So I'm guessing, yeah, you can make the stat 6 in the last 7 years. Like, that's absurd. Do you know what I mean? And like, put it this way, it's a cup final, right? I feel like if a cup final was important, you would never play your sub keeper, in my opinion. That's a little rule I have. You wouldn't play your second choice keeper if it was a massive, massive, massive cup final. Champions League final, you're not starting your second, your second goalkeeper. Maybe in the FA Cup final because he's played that, and that's how the FA Cup's going now. People are starting to play rotating squads as well. It's happening in the EFL Cup now. It's starting to happen in the FA Cup, which is sad to be fair because it's kind of losing the magic of cups. And I know the EFL Cup is I'm not saying it's a massive trophy, but it's just it's are we not bored of it now with City putting out their B team and City's B team's better than everyone else's? Well, not just City putting out it, everyone puts out their B team, unfortunately. Even the smaller clubs sometimes tend to put out some rotated players. So of course the people with the best squad is going to win. Hence why we've seen a win 4 in a row now. Like it makes total sense. So we shall see. We shall see in regards of the Carabao Cup because I know they were in talks to get rid of it. I don't think that people were kind of. I know people were kind of saying like, you know what, we should get rid of the cup because what's the point of these these boring games? And the thing is, in a sense of in the view of what are the point of these boring games, this is kind of what Florentino Perez was saying, is that people want to watch these important games. People don't want to watch these boring games anymore with City playing against like Luton. No disrespect to Luton, you know what I mean? I just thought of that because we had Luton in the 3rd round. But no one really wants. I know it'll be great for Luton and it'll be great for. I'm sorry for using Luton as an example, but I know it'll be great for them. But this is kind of the argument that Florentino Perez was saying in the heads of the Super League, that there'll be no boring games in the Super League. People don't want to watch boring games when people play. I know one of the excuses was 16 to 24-year-olds when they play FIFA, they play with the best teams, and that's what the teams they want to see. I get that, makes sense, but that's not how we do things in England, and that's not how football should be run. But then again, you look at this is a boring competition now. It's the same teams won it 4 times in a row because their B team's better than everyone else. Like, it's kind of getting boring now. I know if United were doing this and we won 4 in a row and we were playing our B team, I'd be thinking, all right, guys, like, I'm not going to stop from a United perspective, but from a neutral, is everyone not bored from it now? But congratulations to Pep Guardiola and City. 4 in a row for an EFL Cup is good. That's what we need to say on that. And who knows, will we see the EFL Cup in the near future? If we keep doing this, we shall see. But guys, that's been another episode of the Undiluted Football Show. You can follow me on Twitter or Insta on my Toni Afoke there. Follow Undiluted Media 1 on Twitter, Undiluted Media on Instagram. This show happens every Sunday, 9 p.m. We talk the latest in the football. Guys, thank you for another episode. Peace out.